Hey, well, what's up, everyone? Daniel here, and I am honored today to be joined by a very special guest, and that is Natalie Dormer. She is the star of the movie Audrey's Children, a film that tells the remarkable true story of Audrey Evans and her really revolutionary cancer research that has saved countless lives over the years. The film releases in theaters on March 28th. Welcome, Natalie. Thanks so much for taking the time to just chat about this great film.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, and first off, let me say that I have actually had the chance to see this film already. This is a really good film, and you are fantastic in it. So congrats on what you guys were able to pull off with this.
Thank you. Thank you. Amazing what you can achieve in 23 days.
23, wow. Um,
Yeah, I know.
that's amazing. So I know, throughout your career, you've had the opportunity to work really at a variety of different types of projects, including some fairly big production projects over the years. This film, Audrey's Children, is a very intimate, character-driven, meaningful story. What was it about this particular project that just made you want to get involved with it?
Yes, I mean, Audrey's Children is an independent film in the true sense of the word. It really is an independent film. And I think for me personally, when I read it, I just couldn't believe that she wasn't a household name. It's like, how do we not all already know about this trailblazing, pioneering, incredible woman? And I was a bit shocked, really, that I had never heard of her. And then when you're offered the opportunity to play someone like this, I just thought, well, this is a no-brainer, basically.
Yeah, and the real life Audrey Evans seems to be a very just remarkable woman. And I believe you actually had the opportunity to meet with her in person before she passed away, I think in 2022. Maybe share just a little bit, what was that like? And I don't know if there's anything specific it's about her or about that encounter that you wanted to embody in your performance.
I mean, I was profoundly affected by meeting her. She passed whilst we were shooting. So I had the great privilege of meeting her a few days before we started shooting, and 2 weeks later she was no longer with us. And to sit there and to hold her hand and to have some very special quiet moments with her. I mean, she was 97 years old. She was working well into her 80s. She did not want to stop. Um, it was just a privilege to be that close to. It was a privilege to be that close to, the individual that you're portraying. And our writer producer Julia Fisher Farbman knew Audrey very, very well, and she was with me when I met Audrey. And Audrey had given her dispensation. She had given her permission to write the movie on the understanding that, it would still help children. She only wanted Julia to make the movie if it would make a difference to children. And that's what I hope the film does, that people will be more aware still of the fight and the funding for cancer research and the wonderful work that the Ronald McDonald Houses do. Those were Audrey's parting instructions, basically.
That's awesome. I know as part, I think the pre-production of this film, I believe you also had the opportunity to go tour the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, which is where Audrey did most of her amazing work. Kind of how impactful was that experience for you, just to have sort of that connection in a very tangible way to the, the locations and the history of this story?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly impactful. The doors were opened to us. Jimmy Simpson, Clancy Brown, and Brandon Michael Hall and I were all invited in. We got to speak to oncologists and meet families, and the same with the Ronald McDonald House, to sit down with families that are really incredible that they gave us their time when they were going through what they were going through, just to get firsthand experience and understanding of what the horrors of that situation can feel like, and then how important it is how an MD and everyone around them behaves. And truly, Dan and Audrey created an entire culture, an entire ethos of treating holistically the entire family, not just the child. And even though they revolutionized pediatric oncology and slashed, the mortality rates of children due to their incredible work. The other thing they achieved is that culture shift of looking after a family spiritually, emotionally, physically, with Ronald McDonald House charities, and just really revolutionizing the whole system, basically, and getting hospital communities to talk to each other. Everyone was sitting on their own data, not sharing. You see that portrayed in the film, and they spearheaded this sort of communication between hospitals nationally and internationally, so that people shared information, all for the betterment and advancement of the treatments.
Yeah, and you mentioned a minute ago just about the culture shift. Kind of related to that, another culture shift. Audrey was obviously like a trailblazer in many ways, not only as this innovative doctor, but also as a woman doctor in the 1960s. I think it's fitting that this film is probably, I'm guessing, intentional, releasing in March, which is a Women's History Month. So what does it mean for you, I guess, just to have the opportunity to spotlight really the amazing legacy of a woman like this? I think particularly for a film that, as far as I could tell, features women really in most of the key kind of creative roles in the film, both like behind the camera and in front of it.
I mean, absolutely. You've just said it all. I mean, very, very important. I mean, in 1969, she became the first female chief of oncology for CHOP. But also, and we had an incredible. It is a powerhouse team behind this with Julia Fisher-Farbman, writer producer, and Amy Kanan-Mann as our incredible director. But also it's testament to the amazing men that supported. It's life imitating art imitating life, insofar as it's about gender equality and just teamwork, because just as Audrey was supported by incredible men, Dan Dangio or C. Everett Koop, who was like the gatekeeper who gave her the appointment at CHOP, so we were also supported by wonderful producers and Michael Helvan and Bradley Gallo. And I mean, I can't say enough wonderful things about my male co-stars, about Jimmy Simpson, Clancy Brown, and Brandon Michael Hall. So it's about, Audrey would be the first to say, don't call me a man or a woman, just call me a doctor. So it's really waving the equality flag,
Yeah, and like you mentioned, there is an amazing cast, both the women and the men. I'm of the philosophy that you can never have too much Clancy Brown in any movie, so I think he is fantastic.
I'm inclined to agree with you on that.
Yeah, he's always been one of my favorites. Maybe this last question for you, kind of as an actress, I guess, like, what do you hope for a film like this? Obviously, I know you want to make an excellent film, and I'm sure you would welcome any critical acclaim, but maybe like beyond those basic things, like, is there anything that you hope audiences will experience or like take away with them having watched this film, and just like probably for many of us encountering the story of Audrey for the first time?
Absolutely. I feel personally, I would never tell an audience what to feel or think. That's the beauty of my job, is they take away what they want. But ultimately, for me, I find the world can be quite a dark, depressing place at the moment. There's a lot going on in the world that is quite frankly scary and uncomfortable. And I think, Audrey's story is testament to what the individual can achieve if they put their mind to it for the greater good. And as a team, actually, to collect a team of people that can really achieve something for the betterment of our children, and our children are our future. So therefore, it's, they're just the next generation. It's always about hope. So I hope that the audience find this an uplifting film, which seems a peculiar thing to say given the subject matter if you were describing it on paper. But truly, I think it is an inspiring film, and that was the intention. It was Julia's intention. It was Audrey's intention. It's mine, Jimmy's, and Clancy's intention. So I hope people find it so.
Yeah, well, as someone who has seen this film, highly recommend it. Encourage everyone, go check out this film when it hits theaters on March 28th. And thank you so much, Natalie, for sharing your heart behind this project.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you.